Since we are working on planks this month, I want to go over plank form. If you don't know, most of you probably already know, I have a passion for posture and form. And I tend to get a little winded with this stuff, but my goal is to help you get the most out of your exercises. So, why might you want to listen? If you deal with a lot of tension in your upper back and neck, if you notice that you've got a belly pooch, so when you sit down or even standing or breathing, you notice that your lower belly pooches out more than maybe your upper area, upper waist, anything like that. Or if you just are kind of like me and you like to get lots of information, listen up. Okay, so when we go into plank, the first thing that I'm going to recommend that I see a lot of people do, sorry, I thought my camera went off. The first thing I see a lot of people do is they clasp their hands together and they go like this into plank. Right? So that's the first thing. So it's not terrible. The only thing that I would recommend is try to work on taking yourself out of this internal. So when we're here, when I go here, look at what it does to my shoulder. So it's pulling my shoulder forward rather than if I go here. Do you see the difference? So watch my shoulder, and I have rounded shoulders, so it's not going to be clear cut, but hopefully you can see a little bit of it. So if I go here, bring my hands together, see how my shoulder kind of falls forward compared to here. It pulls back. So if I'm thinking form-wise, getting the most out of my plank, I'm going to look at trying to get my palms up and going here, okay? So we all know the rules. We want to stack our shoulder directly over top of our elbow. We want to make sure we're squeezing our glutes, but we are not squeezing them like we're trying to grip a pencil between our butt. We want an active glute. If you're confused about that, let me know. Active glute, not squeezing a pencil between our butt, okay? The next thing is hands. Try not to clench them in fists. So when you clench your hands together, or not together, but when you clench them in fists, that's a natural increase of blood pressure. So just relax, breathe through it, especially when you're going to be holding a position for a little bit. Just relax. Other things that you may notice. So some of you sway your back. So you're here and get into a plank and you sway your back, okay? So this is actually, I've seen it worse where people go way down here. But what you need to do is you need to work on taking your tailbone and trying to tuck it under. So that's where the squeezing the glutes is going to help pull you back so you're getting out of that anterior pelvic tilt. So your hips are pressing down towards the floor. The other thing is, and this I do myself, and it's a work in progress, and this has to do with upper back tension, rounded shoulders, all of that. So when you come into a plank, and I highly recommend that you film yourself doing an exercise and see what you look like, because you'll be able to see what you're doing wrong. So coming here into plank, some of us, see how my back is? So my back, I am gripping with my rib cage. So I'll show you the difference. So I'm here. Everything else looks pretty good, but my back, see how my upper back is? So that's here. I want to work on lengthening it out, straightening it out. What that does when you do that, when you have that upper rounded back, you are clenching your ribs. So my ribs are gripping. You think this is helping you activate those abs, but what it's doing is you're activating higher up. It's putting a lot of pressure down. And I bet if you look at yourself in the mirror, you deal with a lower belly pooch. I said to you, I have done this myself. I've noticed this. This is something I'm working on. If you notice this with yourself and you have this lower belly pooch, I'm going to recommend posture and breathing. And if you need more information, let me know, because that is 2 programs that I'm pushing out to all of you to help you. Posture and breathing. And we will get rid of that low belly pooch. So, no rib grips. When we do this, when you go into plank, I want you to think about lengthening your body. So a lot of you, you'll hear me say, start looking out in front of you. So instead of, so if I'm up here and I say, look out in front of you, I don't want to see this. Because now we're taking our chin and jutting it out. What I want to see, because we always want to keep our chin tucked toward our chest, what I want to see is the movement occurring up through the upper body, lengthening to lengthen you out, okay? So that is that. The last thing is your head position, and I kind of spoke about that before. But if you remember the video I showed the other week where I talk about lengthening your neck, pulling it away like a turtle from your shoulders, and then think about pulling up your ponytail back towards the ceiling. So that chin tucks and it pulls back towards the ceiling. You're going to feel this wonderful relaxation in your upper neck back area. Same thing when you're down here. Lengthen and then pull that chin down towards the chest. Think about pulling up. So those are some of the things that you can do to get a better plank. Go over them real quick. Chin tuck. Think about lengthening the head back towards the ceiling. Try not to round the upper back. Think about allowing those ribs to relax. No rib gripping. If you are a rib flarer, then you've probably dropped your hips to the floor. We've got to work on bringing those hips back up. Activate the glutes and press through the heels. If you have any questions, maybe you feel like, I'm not sure I'm doing this right, send me a picture. I'd be happy to look at it and kind of give you what I see to help you get more out of your planks.